Welcome students. Today we start with lesson 18, effects of pollution. In today's video, I will discuss the effects of noise pollution and air pollution. Noise pollution is the leading cause of stress today. Sound is measured in decibels. Continuous exposure to noise levels above 100 decibels has an adverse effect on the hearing ability of human beings. Noise pollution has the following effects on humans, animals, and the physical environment. High decibel noise has physiological and psychological effects on human beings. Noise level between 80 and 130 decibels can cause temporary or permanent hearing loss. Constant exposure to high decibel noise can cause hypertension, stomach disorder like stomach ulcers, heart disease, hormone imbalance, neurosis, and mental illness, thereby reducing human life. Short exposure to noise in excess of 100 decibels can also lead to adverse effects on the fetus. The emotional effects include anxiety, irritability, sleeplessness, lack of concentration, mental tiredness, and lower working efficiency. The workers working in noise-producing industries are generally hard of hearing. High-level noise from aeroplanes can cause disturbances to birds and animals near aerodromes. The noise emissions from supersonic aircraft and railways may cause miscarriage in mammals and fish. Some birds have been found to have stopped laying eggs due to noise pollution. Sudden and loud noise can cause collapse of weak buildings, including glass panels. Now we begin with effects of air pollution, and our first topic is effects of air pollution on environment. The increase in the concentration of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases like methane, nitrogen oxide, chlorofluorocarbons, and water vapor are responsible for increasing temperature on the earth. Greenhouse gases are gases that trap heat. They let sunlight pass through the atmosphere, but they prevent the heat that the sunlight brings from leaving the atmosphere. This has been explained very clearly in this diagram. As you can see, during the day, the sun shines and sunlight falls on the earth's surface. So the earth's surface warms up. At night, the earth's surface cools by releasing heat back into the air. But all the heat that is released does not go back into space, because some of the heat is trapped by the greenhouse gases. So carbon dioxide and other gases in the atmosphere trap heat, keeping the earth warm. And this is known as the greenhouse effect. Greenhouse gases get their name from a greenhouse, like the one that has been shown in this picture. A greenhouse is full of windows that let in sunlight. That sunlight creates warmth, and the greenhouse does not let that warmth escape. That is how the greenhouse gases act. Overall, greenhouse gases are a good thing. Our planet would be too cold, and life as we know it would not exist without greenhouse gases. But human activities are adding too much of these gases to the atmosphere, leading to global warming. Now we will discuss the effects of global warming on the environment. Due to global warming, the regions of the northern hemisphere will heat up more than the southern hemisphere, and the main reason is that there is more landmass in the northern hemisphere. So as you can see in this picture, this is the equator, this is the northern hemisphere, and this is the southern hemisphere. And as you can see very clearly, there is more landmass in the northern hemisphere and less of oceans, and there are more oceans and less landmass in the southern hemisphere. And we all know that land gets heated relatively faster as compared to oceans, which warm up more slowly. Winter temperatures are also rising more than summer temperatures. During summer, a region receives more sunlight and becomes warm. During winter, the region receives less sunlight and cools, radiating heat back to space. Greenhouse gases stop some of the heat from escaping to space, so an increased greenhouse effect slows down the winter cooling. Moreover, the decrease in snow cover exposes the darker land surfaces that absorb more sunlight. As there is less snow and ice, less heat is reflected back to space. As you can see in this diagram, here you have fresh snow. So you can see 90% of the sunlight is being reflected back and only 10% is being absorbed. On the other hand, here you have the ground exposed because the snow has melted. So as a result, only 15% of the sunlight is being reflected back, whereas 85% is being absorbed by the ground. The water cycle is a delicate balance of evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. As you can see in this diagram, this is the water cycle being shown. So as you can see, there is a continuous cycle of evaporation, condensation, and precipitation going on. High temperature increases the rate of evaporation of water into the atmosphere and also increases the atmosphere's capacity to hold water. Increased evaporation may dry out some areas or fall as excess precipitation in other areas. As temperature rises, people and animals will need more water to maintain their health and to thrive. Many important economic activities like producing energy at power plants, raising livestock, and growing crops also require a lot of water. The amount of water available for these activities will be reduced as the earth warms and competition for water resources increases. Human health will be affected due to increase in temperature, which will increase illnesses and deaths related to extreme weather, water and foodborne diseases, effects of food and water shortage, etc. Tourism industry will also be affected. For example, due to global warming, snow will melt faster. Most people go to the mountains to spend their vacations. Ski resorts depend on heavy snow. If there is no snow, there will be no tourists visiting these places. As you can see in this picture, the amount of snow is very less on this ski resort. So that is a major problem for these areas. And here you can see that because of shortage of snow, the ski resorts are now depending on these snow machines to create artificial snow. When temperature rises and ice melts, more water flows to the sea from glaciers and ice caps. So as you can see in this picture, because of global warming and rise in temperature, huge chunks of ice and snow are breaking away from glaciers and melting. So the volume of water in the sea increases and the water also becomes warmer. Industries that thrive on fisheries will be affected as warmer waters change where and when the fish will lay their eggs. Coastal communities will continue to face billion-dollar disaster recovery bills as flooding becomes more frequent and storms become more intense. Here you can see the effect of rise in sea level on this coastal area. In the Arctic region, as ice melts, wildlife like walruses are losing their homes and polar bears are spending more time on land, causing higher rates of conflict between people and bears. And here, this is a picture of a glacier in Greenland, and as you can see how rapidly the ice is melting over here, and you can see this water flowing down. Delta regions are also threatened by global warming. For example, the rising sea level in the Ganga-Brahmaputra Delta, also known as the Sundarbans, is leading to flooding of coastal areas, increased exposure to storm surges, and rising salinity in ground and surface water. Salinity affects the health of the mangrove forests and the quality of soil and crops. With rising sea level, many islands in this region are also disappearing. The Sundarbans is the world's largest mangrove forest. These areas support fish, many species of wildlife, and protect coastal areas from inland storms and from soil erosion. The rise in sea level and the loss of the Sundarbans could have a devastating impact on 500 million people living in the Ganga basin. Millions of people in the low-lying areas of South Asia could face flooding annually. Effects of air pollution on human health. The extent of the effect of air pollution on human beings depends on the duration of exposure and the concentration of pollutants. The short-term effect of air pollution is irritation in the eyes, nose and throat, respiratory infections such as bronchitis and pneumonia, headaches, nausea, vomiting, dizziness, allergic reactions, and slurring of speech. The long-term effects of air pollution are chronic respiratory disease, lung cancer, cardiovascular disease, and coma, damage to the nerves, brain, liver, and kidneys. Now let us talk about the Bhopal gas tragedy. This is a very good example to show how human activities can cause air pollution, and this air pollution can lead to very serious consequences for mankind. The Bhopal gas tragedy is one of the world's worst industrial accidents in human history. It occurred on 3rd December 1984 at the Union Carbide India Limited pesticide plant in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. This factory was built in 1969 to produce the pesticide Carbaryl by using methyl isocyanate. On the fateful night, water entered a tank containing 42 tons of methyl isocyanate, which resulted in the increase of temperature inside the tank to more than 200 degrees Celsius. This increased the pressure and the tank released toxic gases into the atmosphere. This is a view of the factory where the accident took place. The winds took the gas over the Bhopal city. The accident occurred mainly due to the lack of functioning of safety devices in the Union Carbide plant. The methyl isocyanate tank alarms had not worked for 4 years. The leak of methyl isocyanate gas resulted in the exposure of lakhs of people to deadly toxic gases. As a result of the accident, 3,500 people were killed and about 40,000 people were affected. 60% of the affected people were subjected to severe disability, respiratory, gastrointestinal problems, eye damage, neuromuscular and gynecological problems. Thousands of animals like cows, buffaloes, and goats were also killed. In this picture you can see, this is the picture of this woman before the Bhopal gas tragedy, and this is after the tragedy. And as you can see, because of the exposure to methyl isocyanate, she lost her vision. Effect of air pollution on plants. We start with sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide inhibits photosynthesis by disrupting the photosynthetic mechanism. The opening of the stomata is promoted by sulfur dioxide, resulting in an excessive loss of water. It reduces the quantity and quality of plant yield. sulfur dioxide bleaches the surface of the leaves, causes loss of chlorophyll, and results in yellowing of the leaves, especially in green leafy vegetables. So in this picture you can see this is a normal leaf and this is the leaf which has been exposed to sulfur dioxide. Nitrogen dioxide can retard the photosynthetic process and thus the leaves cannot produce enough chlorophyll. It results in the premature falling of leaves and suppressed growth of plants. Therefore, the yield of crops is reduced. Ozone damages plants by entering leaf openings called stomata and oxidizing or burning plant tissues during respiration. This damages the plant leaves and reduces the chance of their survival. Peroxyacetyl nitrate damages leafy vegetables and causes premature fall, discoloration and curling of sepals. Effects of air pollution on animals. Animals that feed on grass and plants are affected with arsenic poisoning. Lead poisoning results in bronchitis and lack of appetite in pet animals. Air pollutants interact with and break down plant-emitted scent molecules, which insect pollinators use to locate food. The pollution-modified plant scents can confuse the bees, and as a result, the foraging time of bees increases. Foraging time means that the time the bees spend in searching for or looking for food. So that time increases, and pollination efficiency decreases. Smog can cause respiratory and digestive issues as well as refusal to eat. Ozone can affect dogs, cats, guinea pigs and rabbits. It can affect the respiratory system and cause them to die. Now we come to the last topic, effects of air pollution on materials. Soot, dust and fumes from air pollutants cause damage to the painted surfaces, fabrics and buildings. Acid rain can damage buildings, historical monuments and statues, especially those made of rocks such as limestone and marble that contain large amount of calcium carbonate. Acid rain corrodes these materials to some degree and accelerates their natural decomposition. Limestone and marble dissolve in acid. The Taj Mahal has been constructed using marble. It is getting discolored and corroded due to sulfur dioxide in the atmosphere. Acid rain can damage buildings and bridges with metallic parts. Vulnerable metals include bronze, copper, nickel, zinc, and certain types of steel. Paper becomes brittle and leather undergoes disintegration by sulfur dioxide and acid gases. Ozone, sulfur dioxide, and nitrogen dioxide discolor, deteriorate, and reduce the strength of textiles. This picture shows the effect of acid rain on marble statues, and here is the effect of acid rain on metal. I conclude my lecture here. Today's video included the effects of noise pollution and air pollution. Thank you and have a nice day.